Up, y'all? It's Wolf. So I decided to do kind of a crossover. This is like automotive related, but not. So today, okay, this is about, it's a ministry video in a sense, a spiritual video about God. Okay, so yesterday something happened to me. Okay, where I went to a gas station and I filled up before I went out and ran some DoorDash. I just got done doing mechanic jobs, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna make some gas money. I made like 140 bucks in one night. It did pretty good. Okay, so when I did that, I got shorted $1 at the pump. Somebody ended up screwing up the math on it, okay? And it was the person inside. They kind of took, I bought some swishers with it, so they accidentally miscalculated the pump by $1. I didn't even go back in. I was like, I gotta go. So took off. I was like, well, I found a quarter on the ground at the gas station like a couple months before that. And I was like, well, they owe me 75 cents now. And I was just joking, but I noticed that there was a test and temptation with it that was really weird, okay? So after that, I actually got tipped 10 bucks by one lady for taking an order like way out of town, and she was like, I'm sorry for the distance, like tipped me big time. And I was like, it's almost like I got blessed for like not going in there and getting all angry and this and that, or maybe I just got shorted and God just kind of worked through that person and got me paid more. And I was like, okay. So my test and temptation with it was today, okay? So I went and I fixed I got a customer that's got a van, and they have a wire, okay? And this wire, I did a soft twisted wires together, and I just ran it. I didn't have any butt connectors on me at the time, okay? And I was like, I gotta get some more butt connectors if I'm gonna do this, because the wire came loose. The transmission drive light is blinking. I already knew what was going on with it. So I went into Wilco right here, okay? And Wilco, they sell individual packs of like ring terminals, okay? So I bought ring terminals, but I also bought regular like house twist connectors, and I paid for the twist connectors, but something happened where she only scanned one of the UPCs, so I only paid for one of them, okay? This was my test and temptation today. I could simply just laugh it off and walk away, okay? And I got these for free, yada yada yada. Or I could do what God wanted me to do and turn around and go back and pay for them. And well, as you can see, I went back and I paid for it, okay? $3, okay? What was the test and temptation really? It was like, okay, you got shorted yesterday and then you got blessed and you made good money. I didn't charge them for the wire today, and it was because it was under warranty, because I had already touched it. So I had already done it. I told them, if it comes loose, let me know, and I'll come back and I'll put connectors on it. It's fine, okay? So I did it right this time. To say, I used ring connectors and then split the end of the ring, and it was just a pinch butt connector on it, but it wasn't like a long butt connector. And I basically made my own wire and stripped a stereo, like a aftermarket wire, and used about half of it and twisted it into a wire and used it, okay? So I didn't charge them anything for it. And I wasn't getting paid, okay? And I already knew that, because I already told, I'm straight with my people, where it's like, okay, if I've already touched this and it still has a problem, I'll come back and do it again. Like, I'll warranty it for you. So I had the option to laugh it off and to do that. And something I realized, okay, is the last couple days I've been reading the Book of John, Book of Matthew, Book of Mark, Book of Luke, and Kings. I think it was 2 Kings that I was reading. And so I've got a hedge up, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good, you know, like I'm not having to deal with people who hit me with witchcraft and do all this, and I just got a hedge around me, so I feel protected. I noticed when I left and I realized that I only paid for one, that my hedge was affected. Almost as if God was like telling me like, hey dude, it was like God kind of showing me like the darkness is knocking on your door, like you have a choice here, that you could go back and do the right thing and pay for these $3, or you can not and just walk away. And it's, you know, my thing was like, well, I don't need somebody taking $30 from me or God bottoming me out, you know, because I did that. So I wanted to make sure to get this across to people, that if there is something that comes your way where you're like, oh, I only paid for one of these and they only rang up one or something like this, I didn't steal it, okay? It was actually laying on top of it was a bigger pack connector, and it was laying on top of it, but it was facing like this. So it looked like this was just the only pack of connectors. That's what it looked like, okay? I didn't realize it until, well, about when I walked out the store. So I was actually still in the store when I realized that she only rung up one, okay? And I already knew I was going to come back, okay? I already knew I was going to come back, but I'm like on a time constraint. Like, I've got to get there and get this done before this lady leaves for work, okay? So it was important. So I came back here and I paid for it, and the lady was looking at me kind of weird, like, why didn't you just take off with it? And my thing was, like, if you choose that crossroad, you have a crossroad to do what's right, or you have a crossroad that you can take it and just leave it and whatever, fair game, fair shake, she missed it. And it's like, well, how does God see that? Okay, God knows that you know. God knows that you need to go back and do that, and there's a light and there's a dark decision. It's a minuscule decision, but it could affect you in a big way. It could be that you've done that so many times in your life where you've walked away with that freebie that you knew that you were supposed to pay for, okay? And God take your whole house. God take something from you, even if it's your dog or maybe your watch goes missing or something falls out your truck and you never see it again. You're like, dude, that was really important to me, okay? So divine things can happen depending on what, even small decisions like that, okay? So I noticed that this goes along with it, that the more you live your life in a righteous manner, the more wide the narrow path and gate seems to be, okay? So if you live your life completely righteous and you know that, okay, every crossroad I hit, I'm going to take a light path, it's really kind of a wider path for you where you're like, the more you retool your mind and decide I'm not going to take that dark path, the more wide that path of light becomes. It's a narrow path, but it becomes more wide the more righteous decisions you make, okay? And it's very easy to wander off that path, dude. I could have wandered off that path just over $3. Like, that's not worth it, bro. So that's why I did. A lot of people might laugh at this and be like, dude, it was $3 pack of connectors, okay? But you need to think about it. Every decision you make in life is a crossroad. Well, some aren't. Some are like, well, there's no real answer but light and light. And there's some that are like, well, there's always a dark choice that you can make because you could always do something stupid to throw yourself off the path. So this is for people that steal stuff, okay? I didn't steal it. Well, I don't really know. I kind of walked out the door and I was like, I think I only paid for one pack of connectors because $2 don't seem right for 2 packs of connectors. And so I already knew I'm going to come back after this job. I'll square up. Not a big deal. God already knew that too. I actually told him on the way. When I was on the way to my job, I told him, I said, I'll square it up. I already knew it was affecting my hedge. I could see that darkness and that path, and I was like, I don't want to be taking that. Almost like I had a hedge, but I strayed off the narrow path, and it was like glitching a little bit or something. And I was like, oh yeah, we ain't playing that. I'll go back and pay for them anyway. I think that happened to me so that I could do this video right now in the parking lot. Like right now. I just came out of there and I just paid for it. So, people that steal stuff, okay? That is a dark path that you're going to continually choose, and it's going to bite you really bad, okay? How? I've done videos on this before. It will affect your reputation, okay? Among your peers. If you're running a business, that's really not smart. Because I knew people that would run businesses, and like mobile mechanic, okay? That would go to a job, and, say the person bought, some sort of fluid like antifreeze, and you caught everything and threw it back in, and you didn't put new antifreeze in and you kept it. That ain't smart, bro. It's not good, okay? You're going to end up paying for that. You could have it where your water pump goes out right after that. Things will happen, bro. Things will happen, and you want to make sure you're on the right side of the coin, that you're not out there running around in circles because you're facing divine judgment and full circles and this and that. Like, don't do it. I know people that used to steal from, like, everybody, dude. Like, everybody. Not smart, okay? Because this is what my experience was. When I was around that person, I knew that they stole. All my tools were locked up, bro. You're not allowed to borrow anything, this and that, because the person would take it, and then you'd call them on it, and they're like, no, I went and bought it. But the interesting thing is about those people is their minds are so screwed up that you could go and buy the same tool that they have, and they're like, oh, that's my tool. And you're like, I just bought it. And they're like, no, I have that same tool. And it's like, you're not the only person that owns that same tool. So you'll notice that people that steal a lot will call people on that. And sometimes there's honest mistakes where they're like, oh, you didn't steal it. It's like this and that. It's honest mistakes. But there's people that are chronic kleptomaniacs, okay, that will steal stuff, and they'll be like self-conscious that you stole something from them and that's theirs. That's an example of why you don't walk away with stuff like this, okay? Why you don't choose that dark path, because it will affect your state of mind and your mode of being. So it'll affect how you think, but it'll affect how you operate in the world. Where that dude, he wasn't very self-conscious of me being around his tools because he knew deep down in his heart that I don't steal. Like, I won't steal your tools. I'll give you stuff that I don't need. That's how I was. Is I was like, oh, you need this for your business? Like, here you go. Like, I'll give it to you. I can go and replace it. It's not that big a deal. Or I wasn't running a business at the time, and you need it more than I do. So here. So I give people, I help people. Sometimes the wrong people, the people were actually stealing. So you got to look at it, and you're like, well, okay. What is the biggest reason why you don't walk away with that $3 pack of connectors? Okay, why? The reason is because you want to do right by God, and if you don't do right by God, you may have a dark seed in your mind that you have to try and pull out, that God will make you pay for it, in a way. That's kind of how I saw it. Maybe I'm wrong about that too. Maybe it operates differently. But it was almost like I felt like this darkness on me that I was like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. And it could be that I walk very narrow, that my path is wide, that something so small like this affected me in a large way. So I don't steal stuff, bro. I don't like it. I don't like it when people steal things, okay? I had a lot of stuff stolen from me that was kind of like this. It was stuff that I'd had that were there and then they're gone. And I'm like, who was around me? And sometimes you just misplace it. You're like, it's under my seat. I'm dumb. But there's a lot of times I had it where I had a pair of pliers that somebody would steal. The same person I was using as an example would steal a pair of pliers from me. And then I'd be like, hey, yo, aren't those my pliers? He's like, no, I bought those a while ago. And I'm like, well, clearly, like, this is why I also put LW on all my tools now. I engrave them for the most part. All my expensive stuff. Because then I can call it out and be like, that's, my initials are on it, bro. Like, come on. So, I had a bunch of stuff stolen from me that was tools that they would accuse you. If you take it back from them, they really don't have anything to say. That's the weird thing, is if you see it and you're like, oh yeah, yank, and you just pull it back, it's like, what are they going to say? Oh yeah, that's mine. It's like, my initials are on it, bro. Like, and it's still, then they may just accuse you of taking it, and you're like, well, it was mine in the first place. And so, avoid people who take that dark path like this. If you're hanging out with somebody and you're walking as narrow as you possibly can, and you notice that your buddy that you're with stole like an impact socket set from a mutual friend that you guys have, and it's now in his car, I'd avoid that person like the plague, because you don't want to have to face full circle with that person. So you're like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Am I going to go tell the person that it was taken? That's a shaky situation, because a lot of times people that do that will try and bring you around people that you're not close enough with that you talk to like that, and they'll just do it. They'll take, and it bites them, because everybody, sometimes they get all their stuff stolen. I saw that where his entire van got like wiped out, bro. Like he had nothing left. And it was like, well, wasn't me. Thank you. I ain't facing divine judgment for that. But sometimes you see that full circle and you're like, bro, that was over like a period of time, like 5 years that he did that over and over and over and over and over again. Everything's gone. Everything's gone. Because some dude just, for some reason, came that way, yoink, took it all. It'll happen. That's why all my tools are my own tools. If I have anything of anybody else's, I try and return it, okay? If the person tells me to keep it, that's another thing. Where they're like, oh yeah, you can just have it. Because I do that a lot with people where they're like, I don't have a good pair of pliers, dude. Or, like, I've got a customer that, like, she has no tools. Like, her husband or ex-husband took all her tools, okay? So I don't mind, hey, I got spares of this stuff and I don't even use it anymore because my front line is upgraded, and I'll hand stuff out a lot of times. But if you steal it without that, so you can't just come to me and be like, oh, you already got a pair of pliers, I'm taking that. Like, that ain't gonna fly. But people that need help, I'll help them out. Where it's like, I have $50 pair of pliers, for example. Probably not. But I have this old set that I never use. And it's like, I never use them, okay? And if I've got 3 sets of pliers that are the same, but I've upgraded through the brands and I've made it, and they're a Harbor Freight pliers are good. But say I had that lower set that I was using like last year, I'll just give it to somebody and be like, okay, like, you can have this because you need it, okay? So I don't mind doing that. When it comes to other stuff, though, you have to understand that life will send you, God will send you tests, and the devil will send you to temptations. Did the devil really tempt me to walk away with this? I mean, not really. It was $3. I mean, it was one of those things. I mean, but there is a level of darkness that is like, it'll tempt you. And I think that's where the darkness kind of pushes on your hedge a little bit. Where it's like, you could just walk away, and it was like, you know, this a thought crossed my mind even once. That I could walk away with this and just, oh yeah, whatever. In a sense, it does to everybody, okay? Where you're like, well, yeah, I could just walk away and whatever. And just go on my life. But it's still there in the back of my mind where I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to be sitting at the gates and God's, pointing his finger at me going, you remember that $3 pack of connectors that you were supposed to go return that I told you and was knocking on your head that you're supposed to do it? And you still walked away with it. I don't want that. I don't want none of that smoke. I don't want smoke with God. Even if it's over a $3 pack of connectors. I don't want no smoke. No smoke, bro. You don't want smoke from God, because God will roast you, bro. You don't want that. You be sitting there like a rotisserie chicken getting fried over a $3 pack of connectors. I ain't doing that. So, and Wilco is a good place. I don't want a reputation of, hey, he took those connectors, because somebody might have seen that and went afterwards and went, oh crap, what's the reputation I have in here now? That woman that I returned it to, she was the manager of the store that was doing inventory and profit loss, all that stuff up front at the register. She was counting the till. So for me, what reputation does I have? If she sees me come in the store, she already automatically trusts me. That dude ain't gonna steal nothing. Why? A $3 pack of connectors, you came back and paid for it 2 hours later. Your reputation is affected positively or negatively based upon how you do it. There's a polarity of the crossroad. So yeah, you have this thing about it. I'm driving right now. I'm not supposed to be filming. But you have this polarity about it, bro. Where you're like, okay, like I need to do right in this situation. And what did it do for me to do the right thing? Me and God, we're cool. We are absolutely cool. You went and you followed through with what you said you were going to do, and you didn't take the dark path. What happened in there? I go in there and I shop, and I don't have security looming on me. Like, what's he taking? There's a peace of mind between people where they're like, he actually came back and did that, even if she didn't realize that it happened. Positive, positive, positive. That's what you want. Okay? Until next time. Lone Wolf. Peace out. Okay, sorry, I was driving real quick, but I'm going to throw an end to this video, so this might be chopped up a little bit weird, okay? What else does this cause, okay? I'm going to go away from the store example. I'm going to use one more thing, okay? One more thought that was on my mind. If you're hanging out with a buddy or a mechanic, okay, and he knows you don't steal and he knows that you operate a certain code, he will let you use his tools. He will let you use his area, and he's comfortable with you in his space. That comes with anybody, mechanic or not, even just a regular person or a neighbor, all right? That's all I got to say for today.